Welcome everybody to the third session of the 2022 Resilience South Asia Resilience Hub. This year, ICCCAD has hosted 10 local constituencies of organizations, both who have some form of organization and groups that are not organized. But the idea was to bring local constituencies from local geographies to participate. Okay. Habib, can we mute everybody, please? Great. Okay. Yeah, so welcome everybody. Let us start again because we realize it's a whole new dimension, getting local people and communities to participate, and we have no problem if our session looks messy. The idea is to maximize the quality time with the leaders, local leaders who are participating, and the local collaborators, both from government and non-government, who are participating at your session. So to give you a background of the Resilience Hub, the Resilience Hub presently, as we're talking, is happening in 3 zones. It's happening in South Asia, it's happening in Africa, and it's happening in Latin America. And the idea is to bring the voices of local communities and local champions to these high-level meetings. Now, generally, in the climate arena, you have researchers, you have scientists, you have academics, you have very learned people who are discussing these issues. And we decided that this year, we want groups from specific geographies to be able to talk about the issues that confront them in the places that they live, and to also understand what is the issues of power that they're dealing with locally. Because a lot of our geography also reflects our politics. So you cannot separate the two. So the Marathwada women, for example, have to deal with the collaborators and the local influencers in their geography to be able to bring change. You cannot just keep attending global meetings and think change is going to happen locally. And we've seen very clearly in my experience of working up with, for more than 3 decades on the front line, the stronger the organizations are from within, the better your capacity to influence globally. So the idea of the South Asia Resilience is to strengthen this voice, to bring this voice, to actually build a capacity of local leaders to be able to get better and better at talking both to their local constituencies and to an external environment. We also want this to be an opportunity for local leaders to be able to share their internal strategies of adaptation and development and all the things that they're doing to improve their lives and livelihoods, to an external knowledge of a body of knowledge that has done lots of research on these women, that who have maybe more information than these women, but these women have quality information that many of us have not harnessed or many of us may not be aware of. And then we're trying to create an equal level field where local knowledge can engage with these hierarchical knowledge in academic institutions and among research institutions. This is also an opportunity for us to get better at how we influence our local actors and to how we influence international actors. So we're all learning. None of us know exactly how to find our space in this huge climate universe of so many actors. And the best way for us to stay focused and the best way to make a difference and the best way for us to be effective is to stay very rooted to our local example, to our local experience, to our local relationships, because that is what will help other communities learn from us. And that is what will help the international players also learn on how to influence better. So having said this year, we've got about 10 different types of constituencies, some 10 geographies. Habib, can you show us the next slide? Yeah. So we've already finished 2 of them so far. We've had indigenous groups from Tangai, and we've had the coastal communities from Nakom. Now, it's very interesting. In the last 2 sessions, we're already seeing how local power is at play and what local groups have to do with having to deal with the power structures in their own geographies. Now, this is something you cannot shy away from. While we talk about funds and finance and everything, we realize one of the things of being locally, connected and organizing locally is that you learn to become accountable between yourselves and to local organizations. So local governments have to become accountable to the Women's Farmers Network. Women Farmers Network have to also become accountable to the other collaborators in their locality. And this is the other power of doing things within your geography, because you cannot demand this accountability at a global level. You can demand this accountability locally. If I'm bullshitting locally, you know I'm bullshitting locally. If I'm bullshitting globally, you don't know I'm bullshitting globally, right? So it's as simple as that, and our leaders understand this power game better than any of us. So we've done the indigenous communities from the Tangai region. We've yesterday, you had the coastal mangrove communities who were talking about land grabbers in their context and the strategies they've had to use to deal with these land grabbers. Today, we have you, and we hope that the women farmers will talk about the array of strategies that they are working with, especially how they organize, because that is the most important ingredient. Without that, you wouldn't be able to achieve a lot of what you're doing. Tomorrow, we are talking to the indigenous communities from the Chittagong Hills. On Sunday, we will be talking to the city of Janeda, where local citizens groups have got together and working with local government, both teachers groups and youth groups and informal settlements, and creating a strategy together for the improvement of their city. Next, Habib. Yeah, then we have Pakistan, a group in Karachi, who will be talking about the man-made reasons for their floods. And, I think it's important that and so once again, this comes down to power. This comes down to how well you are organized to be able to manage these power structures within your local context. Next, we have the mangrove communities from the Sundarbans, both from the Indian side and the Bangladeshi side. And the first part will be listening to local collaborators and local voices. And the second part will be how a research methodology of storytelling has been used to actually create local stories that can be shared with local communities. We then have the far western region, mountain region of Nepal in the Bajang community, in the Bajang district, and they will be talking about the strategies that they work with in the forest and in the mountains of Nepal. Next, we have the youth group talking of their food insecurity agenda, but also a very important strategy of understanding how they go about getting the voices of the local youth to engage with these kind of issues. On the 30th, which is our final day, which we hope to close with our key messages as well, we have Mongla City talking about the climate migrants and the issues that they face with regards to housing, to basic services, to basic security of tenure, and what they are doing to feel included in their own city. So I don't want to take more time. Ratna, thank you so much. I hope you've got a sense of the Resilience Hub from the context of the South Asia perspective, and wish you good luck for your session. Please take over.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Celine. Really appreciate the clarifications that you have given, and the way there is need to address the intersectionalities of climate, gender, and social inclusion, diversity, justice, and the way the governance systems are organized. I'll now request Anjana to show us the schedule for the day. Just a simple structure. It's divided into 3 parts. In the first part, we will have speakers from India. The second part will have speakers from South Asia, from Nepal. And the third session will have an open session as well as specific discussants who will help us understand and put the entire session together. All the speakers will who are not speaking in English will be supported by a translator from their own languages, and whatever is being said by the English speaker is also being simultaneously translated to people speaking in these other languages. So we hope that this is as participatory as possible. If anyone wants to ask any question to a specific speaker, then please put your question in the chat box and we will address it during the Q&A session. The transcripts are also being done by Chandran from SSP. So these will also be available in English for quick reference. And we hope to wind up at 6 o'clock. Each speaker will take at the most 5 minutes for making their points. And we'll just start the session now. Sanjana, can you go to the next slide? Yes, these are the specific objectives of the session: to provide space for women's groups and leaders to share their resilience experiences. And through this sharing process, as part of the partnerships that are there, who are organizers here, the Huairou Commission, GPVS, and the Orissa organization, we are all trying to work together to build a coalition which addresses these deepest issues of our times. Next, please. So the speakers will be speaking mainly about the challenges which they face, the way in which their communities are adapting, what are their learnings, and what are the main priorities that they have identified, which can be taken by the larger global forums in future, from South Asia. Next, please. So we start with Ms. Naseem Sheikh. She's the Associate Director at Swayam Shikshan Prayog. She has been a leader and an outstanding facilitator of women's leadership. And we look forward to Naseem sharing her experience. So Naseem, please start. Welcome.
Hello, good evening to all of you. And this is a very excited moment for Swayam Shikshan Prayog and Women's Network in India and across the globe, because first time we are getting the chance to reflect our work at the as a women farmers identity. We are participated many global spaces, but that time we are invited to contribute in the session, but this is the opportunity. We are organizing our own session as a women farmer. So as Swayam Shikshan Prayog is a organization who is working in India across 7 states of India. All the states, all our work is started with the various disasters like earthquake, flood, cyclone. These all disasters, and like now the issue, the global issue which we are dealing across all the communities is the biggest challenge for all is climate change. So in our like especially our region, Marathwada region is most vulnerable for all the disasters as well as the climate change issues. Like one side we are facing drought, other side we are facing heavy rains and high temperatures, which all these things of sometimes delay in the rain, which is all affecting all the agriculture farmers and the food security and their income from the agriculture, and the mental stress among the men farmers and the women, those who are managing their household needs and the family. So this is the biggest struggle in our region. So our women farmers who are very much, their life is dependent on the agriculture, so they finalize a model which is called women-led climate resilient food security model. Through this model, when women started demonstrating food security, to ensure food security for their families, they started that model with the small piece of land where they are got trained on the how they can reduce the chemical fertilizers and ensure the all kind of nutritious food for their family. And after one season, when they realize this approach will be reduce the stress in the family for to fulfill the need of food, so they take that learnings to their family and discuss how we can expand this model, this approach to ensure our income as well as the food security. And also when we are doing these women are doing short-term crops which will reduce the risk of crops. So in the model, when women started this 2012 uh, 2012 drought, and they realize and they evolve various components of this model. This is now become a holistic model which is approach fulfilling and uh, the all needs of, like, first, the women are now involved into the agriculture planning, and they are doing um, uh, they are designing and taking decisions what kind of crops they should cultivate in their land, which will be increase their food security. Second, how the crops risk will reduce if there is not rain or the heavy rain. So both sides they think, and now they plan the crops for their land. Second, when we are doing the chemical fertilizer, use of chemical fertilizers, there the quality of land is now is reduced, and women are trying to do various organic methods to improve the health of soil. From that, they can ensure the better productivity and the organic food for their family. And third, because we are originally belong from the drought region, so when they are planning crops, they are very much planning around the water, what kind of water need that crop is, and how they can use or manage water saving technologies due to to improve the productivity. And they simultaneously they are working on the water conservation part by partnering, collaborating with the local government by accessing various government resources. So these and like we are closely working with the all our women are marginal farmers. So the in this situation of climate change, the agriculture's income is not sufficient to fulfill the family needs. So they are trying to add agri-allied enterprises which can go with the agriculture work, and they can increase the income security by doing dairy, poultry, or other like seed production and vegetable cultivation. So these all initiatives, and now women are trying like they started with the access of land. Now they are trying to claim the land ownership, and they, because of one side family is convinced to give the land, and other side government is also increased the lot of resources for the women's group, women's agriculture group, because after seeing the demonstration which women made to ensure the food and increase the agriculture income and protect natural resources. So these all efforts what women are making is now when we started with the small 10 guntas of land. Now this initiative, these efforts are across scale of in more than 100,000 women farmers in our region, and their income is also increasing. And I can proudly share the women farmers who are adopted this approach to climate resilience adaptation, and they're practicing various organic methods to ensure the food security. Their families, especially their families and communities, have not had any suicide, because our region especially again famous for farmers suicide, known for farmers suicide. One side we are very much known for the drought, the other side farmer suicide. But in the same situation, women, whatever the women made this effort, they are recognized as the best women farmers, and many women received regional, national awards as a farmer, and their efforts are helping their family to secure the food and the income, and their communities for their and their to fulfill the economic resilience as well as the ecology resilience. So
Thank
these are
you.
the efforts which are started from one small group of women. Now it becomes a larger scale network efforts which can be taken. These knowledge and learnings are taken by other many countries like Kenya, uh, Nepal, Bangladesh, Latin America. So I have one small recommendation to all our participants, all of our government officials, donor agencies, and the national agencies. They should they should see the importance of women's group and community, and invest there to build their capacity in their leadership, and help them to get organized to face these kind of challenges and find local solutions to address the climate change. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Naseem, for this excellent summary of the experiences and the way scaling has been done by SSP of this model, which puts women at center stage. I'll now invite Ms. Mukta Nayak. She is from the Organization for Rural Reconstruction and Integrated Social Services Activities. She has been a seed mother and she's a farmer. She leads a group of 1,500 women farmers. Mukta ji, ab aap boliye, please.
Mukta.
Namaskar, ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ସ୍ୱାଗତ। ମୋ ନାମ ମୁକ୍ତା ନାୟକ, ମୁଁ ମାଲକାନଗିରି ଜିଲ୍ଲା ମାଥାପାଲି ଗାଁ ଜଣେ ପରଜା ଆଦିବାସୀ ମହିଳା ଚାଷୀ ଏବଂ ବିହନ ମା ଭାବରେ ଅଛି। ଆମ ଅଞ୍ଚଳରେ ଯୋଉ ଆମର ଦେଶୀ ବିହନ ପାରମ୍ପରିକ ଚାଷ ସେ ସବୁ ଯୋଉ ଲୋପ ପାଇ ଯାଉଥିଲା, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଆମ ଅଞ୍ଚଳରେ ଗୋଟେ ଚାଷୀ ସଂଗଠନ ଗଠନ କଲୁ, ସପ୍ତଧାରା ଚାଷୀ ସଂଗଠନ। ସେଇ ସଂଗଠନ ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ ଆମେ କେମିତି ଆମର ପୂର୍ବପୁରୁଷ ମାନେ ଦେଶୀ ବିହନକୁ ପାରମ୍ପରିକ ପଦ୍ଧତିରେ ଚାଷ କରୁଥିଲେ ଏବଂ ଆମର କେମିତି ହାତ ତିଆରି ଖତ ସାର ଦେଇକି ଚାଷ କରୁଥିଲେ ତାକୁ ଆମେ କେମିତି ବଞ୍ଚେଇ ପାରିବା ସେ ଉପରେ ଆମେ କାମ କରୁଛୁ। ଏବଂ ଆମ ଅଞ୍ଚଳରେ ଯୋଉ ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଯୋଉ ଆମର ଉତ୍ପାଦନ ହଉଥିଲା ସେ ବିହନକୁ ବା ଆମର ଉତ୍ପାଦନ ଜିନିଷ ଗୁଡ଼ିକୁ ବାହାରୁ ଯୋଉ ଲୋକମାନେ ବେପାର ପାଇଁ ଆସୁଥିଲେ ଏବଂ ସେମାନେ କମ ମୂଲ୍ୟରେ ଆମକୁ ଠକିକରି ନେଇଯାଉଥିଲେ, ତା ଉପରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଆମେ ସେଇ ସଂଗଠନ ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ କାମ କରୁଛୁ। ଏବଂ ଆମେ ସେ ସଂଗଠନରେ ଆମେ ଏବେ ନିଜେ କିଣା ବିକା କରିକି ସେଇ ବେପାରୀ ମାନଙ୍କଠୁ ଠିକ ମୂଲ୍ୟରେ ଆମେ ପାଇପାରୁଛୁ ଏବଂ କିଣା ବିକା ମଧ୍ୟ କରିପାରୁଛୁ। ସାର୍ ଟ୍ରାନ୍ସଲେସନ କରନ୍ତୁ।
Yes, I'd like to request Mr. Biswa Mohanty to please come in. Mr. Biswa Mohanty is the mentor of the Orissa organization. Can you do one translation, please, in English? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So Mukta said, I see belongs to Poroja tribe, and they are having an organization called Saptadhara Women Farmers Producer Organization, and they are working with 1,000, more than 1,500 women in the district of Malkangiri. And she said they primarily focus on helping the fellow small and marginal farmers to use locally available natural resources and mostly the local seeds, so that to help themselves produce more food. And she also talked about like how they are being exploited by the market forces, including the small traders coming to procure the produces from their villages, and through their collective they now work on the collective effort to address the exploitation, minimize the exploitation process, and many villages they have also eliminated it, and they are helping farmers to connect to each other and exchange seeds from each other. And that's up to this point she has said, and she said probably she wants to continue more. Mukta, go. Mukta.
ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଆମର ସପ୍ତଧାରା କମ୍ପାନୀରେ ଆମେ ଏବେ ଆମର 4ଟି ପଞ୍ଚାୟତରୁ ନେଇକି 1500 ମାମାନେ ନେଇକି ଆମର ଏ ସଂଗଠନ ଗଠନ କରିଛୁ ଏବଂ ଆମର ସେ 4ଟା ପଞ୍ଚାୟତରୁ 1500 ମାକୁ ନେଇକି ମଧ୍ୟ ଆମର ପ୍ରତି ଗାଁରେ ଗୋଟେ ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରୋଡ୍ୟୁସର ଗ୍ରୁପ ମଧ୍ୟ କରାଯାଇଛି। ସେଇ ପ୍ରୋଡ୍ୟୁସର ଗ୍ରୁପରେ ଆମେ ସମସ୍ତେ ଗୋଟେ ଗୋଟେ ଗାଁରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ବିହନ ମା ଚିହ୍ନଟ କରିଛୁ। ସମସ୍ତ ବିହନ ମା ହେଉଛନ୍ତି ଆମର 23 ଜଣ ଅଛନ୍ତି। ସେଇ ବିହନ ମା ମାନେ ନେଇକି ଆମେ ଗାଁ ଗାଁରେ ଯୋଉ ଆମ ଅଞ୍ଚଳରେ ବିହନ ଗୁଡ଼ିକ ଲୋପ ପାଇ ଯାଇଥିଲା ସେ ବିହନ ଗୁଡ଼ିକୁ ପୁଣି ଥରେ ଆମେ ସଂଗ୍ରହ କରିକି ବଞ୍ଚାଇ ପାରୁଛୁ। ସେଇ ବିହନ ମା ମାନଙ୍କଠୁ ଆମେ ଯୋଉ ଅଞ୍ଚଳରେ ବିହନ ଗୁଡ଼ିକୁ ସଂଗ୍ରହ କରୁଛୁ ଏବଂ ସେ ବିହନ ମା ମାନଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ରଖିକି ଆମର ଯୋଉ ଚାଷୀ ସେ ଚାଷକୁ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଚାହିଁବ ସେ ଚାଷୀ ମାନଙ୍କୁ ନେଇକି ସେ ବିହନକୁ ଅଦଳ ବଦଳ କରିକି ସେମାନେ ନେଇକି ଚାଷ କରୁଛନ୍ତି।
She said they in their organization they have more than 73 traditional seed mothers. They call it seed mothers, who help the fellow villages in selecting seeds. They are also breeding seeds from their traditional varieties and exchange seeds from other. They collect seeds from other places in nearby villages or even to other districts, and they formed 75 producer groups in various villages to help the sustainable agriculture practices among the farmers. And she said they also prepare their own pest repellents and liquid manure using the locally made resources. And Mukta ko abe.
Yes, please. Her last point, please.
Mukta, aise kouchandi shigra saribo. Mukta.
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଆମର
ଯୋଉ ଜଳବାୟୁ ପରିବର୍ତ୍ତନ ଯୋଗୁଁ ଆମର ସେ ବଜାରରୁ କେତେ ଜଣ ଚାଷୀ ଆମର ବଜାରରୁ ବିହନ କିଣୁଥିଲେ ଏବଂ ରାସାୟନିକ ସାର ବ୍ୟବହାର କରିକି ଆମର ଚାଷ କରୁଥିଲେ। ଆମର ଯୋଉ ଖରା ସମୟରେ ଯୋଉ ବର୍ଷା ହେଲା, ବର୍ଷା ସମୟରେ ଯୋଉ ଖରା ହେଲା, ସେଥି ଯୋଗୁଁ ଆମର ସେ ବଜାର ବିହନ ଏବଂ ରାସାୟନିକ ସାର ଦେବା ଦ୍ୱାରା ଆମର ଫସଲ ଭଲ ଭାବରେ ଅମଳ ହେଲା ନାହିଁ। ତେଣୁ କରି ଆମେ ପୁଣି ଥରେ ଆମର ଦେଶୀ ବିହନକୁ କେମିତି ଆମେ ବଞ୍ଚେଇ ରଖିପାରିବା ଏବଂ ଆମେ କେମିତି ତାକୁ ଆମର ପାରମ୍ପରିକ ପଦ୍ଧତିରେ ଚାଷ କରିପାରିବା, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଆମେ ଆମର ସପ୍ତଧାରା କମ୍ପାନୀର ସମସ୍ତ ମହିଳା ଚାଷୀ ମିଶିକି ପୁଣି ଥରେ ଆମର ସେ ବିହନ ମେଳା ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ ଗାଁ ସ୍ତରରୁ ଯୋଉ ଆମର ବିହନ ଅଦଳ ବଦଳ କଲୁ ଏବଂ ଜିଲ୍ଲା ସ୍ତରରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ବିହନ ମେଳା ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ ଆମେ ତାକୁ ବିହନ ଅଦଳ ବଦଳ କରିକି ଆମର ବିହନ କିସମକୁ ବଢ଼େଇ ପାରିବୁ ଏବଂ ଆମର ମା ମାନ ନେଇକିରି ଆମର କମ ଜମିରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଭଲ ଫସଲ ଉତ୍ପାଦନ କରିପାରିଲୁ ଏବଂ ଆମର ଯୋଉ ବିହନ ଅଦଳ ବଦଳ କରିବା ଦ୍ୱାରା ଆମର ମା ମାନେ ମଧ୍ୟ ତାକୁ ରୋଗ ପୋକରୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ବଞ୍ଚେଇ ପାରିଲୁ जमीर उर्वरता बढ़ाई पारिलु एवं आम जैविक खत सार आमर हाथ निजे तैयारी करके आमे से रोग पोकर नियंत्रण करि पारिलु।
Biswajit?
Yeah, Mukta said like they have learned the approach to help small and marginal farmers to maximize their small holding, and they promote mixed cropping, diverse cropping systems in their upland and also backyards, including their kharif land. And she said that the climate change effects have made them to suffer when people are buying seeds from the market, and it didn't help because they don't get good harvest owing to frequent climate change effect. And she talked that this season, almost for last 4 months, there are flash rains on and off in the villages. And she said when they plant the traditional varieties, it is more resilient to the climate change effects, and they could manage to protect their crop fields even if in these extreme situations. And she said they are exchanging seed at the villages, and also they conduct district level community seed fairs, and they do have seed mapping in the villages, and the seed mothers help the fellow villagers to like exchange knowledge about seed while doing the crop planning based on the land available with the households. And she also talks about like the collaboration they have with a group of resource person to help the lead farmers to go for pure line breeding of specific selected seeds they choose to grow in their area. And she said that their collective is also helping the farmers to take their produces to the local market, and this has eliminated the barriers they are used to face earlier.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
मैम आमर गोटे सीचार फंड मध्य रखा है आमर सत्ताधारा कंपनी रे जाकि आमर क्षुद्र चाषी मानक भितर ताको तांगर जो आवश्यक पड़िबो सेते बेले आमे तांको ऋण आकार रे दउछु एवं से माने व्यक्तिगत भाव रे कुकुड़ा चाष माछ चाष पनिपरिबा चाष एवं बाजार रे छोट छोट व्यवसाय मध्य कर पाछन से फंड। नमस्कार मैम, धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much.
They probably forgot to mention one point. She said
Yes.
they have also established a climate resilient fund in the many villages, and this is a independent fund managed by the village women to help the vulnerable women in the villages who have less land or negligible land holding, even landless families, to take up agriculture related or say forestry related trading in their villages. So they say this is growing, and more they are covering more and reaching out to more and more number of vulnerable women through this particular CJRF fund at the villages.
Excellent. Thank you so much for this excellent summary. Thank you Mukta ji. बहुत अच्छा लगा आपने जो कहा. And certainly this is a model, the process is the model which needs to be expanded. I would like to now invite Chandrarekha Devi from GPSVS, that is the Ghordiha Prakhand Swarajya Vikas Sanstha from Madhubani district, Bihar. Chandrarekha ji, आप आइए और आपकी बात का अनुवाद, the translation will be done by Dr. Ajay Kumar Jha, who is the state coordinator for GPSVS. Chandrarekha ji.
Yes. सभी को प्रणाम. मेरा नाम चंद्ररेखा देवी और मेरा गांव अमोजा और मैं किसान पाठशाला के सचिव अध्यक्ष हूँ. और ये हमारा जो हम हिंदी में बोलेंगे और मेरा ट्रांसलेशन ऐसे सर करेंगे. और ये जो हमारा जो बात है वो हम महिला के संगठन के तहत हम रखेंगे, किसान पाठशाला के तहत, जो हमारे 400 बहनें जुड़े हुए हैं हमारे GPSVS संस्था के माध्यम से, जो गाँव-गाँव में किसान पाठशाला बना हुआ है. उसके माध्यम से हम विशेषकर जल, जीवन और जंगल, मिट्टी के विशेष में बताएंगे, जो हमारे जो कि मौसम परिवर्तन है उसके माध्यम से जो खेती का नुकसान होता है, इसके लिए जो हमारे यहाँ खेती पर असर पड़ता है, उसके लिए हमारे ये जो मौसम परिवर्तन है, आपदा प्रबंधन को जो ये आकृष्ट जो नुकसान पहुंचाते हैं, इसके लिए ये मौसम के तहत अनुकूल हम लोग जो छोटा किसान है, जो हमारे गांव में गरीब किसान है, उस पर जो असर पड़ता है, जो मौसम के अनुकूल कोई खेती नहीं होते हैं, उस पर खेती के जिस तरह से फसल पर बहुत असर होता है। हम लोग अपना गांव में ये जो छोटे छोटे किसान है, उसके लिए हम अपने गांव में जो कम सिंचाई में खेती हो, उसके लिए हम ट्रेनिंग देते हैं और जैविक खाद पर विशेष जोर देते हैं, जो हम लोग जैविक खाद बनाए। हमारे जो ये प्राकृतिक स्रोत है, उस पर हम लोग ज्यादा से ज्यादा विशेष रूप से वृक्षारोपण पर काम करते हैं, पोखरी जल का ग्रहण करते हैं। सर ट्रांसलेशन कीजिएगा कि उसके बाद बताएंगे।
ठीक, ओके।
जी अजय जी, हाँ।
Yes. Welcome everyone. She is Chandrekha Devi from Amoja, as she started her speech with this introduction, and she said that she is a woman farmer, a small woman farmer, and she is working with 400 women, small women farmers in different villages, and she promotes, she sees the work of Kisan women's led farmer field school, and she provides as JPSB has designed the training program and the farmer field school curriculum. So she provides training with these women to how to develop agriculture, how to develop climate smart agriculture in these villages. She especially focuses on three things, three natural resources. First is the land management. Second, she told that she cares for the water resource management. She also cares for the tree plantation. So on three natural resources, she mainly works with 400 women how to save these resources for their sustainable agriculture. She said that she lives in the condition where disaster and climate change induced disaster risks are very high, and it generally affects the agriculture and crop production. So her main focus is how to develop sustainable agriculture at the small land of farming. For that, she works with these women. She provides training, time to time training, that how to do the climate resilient agriculture. So she said that for that she also works for the organic farming. She provides training for the production of organic manures and on organic pesticides. So she said this. हाँ चंद्रेखा जी आगे कहिए।
हाँ आगे, हाँ।
और सर
चंद्रेखा जी,
आपदा से जो किसान जूझ रहे हैं, उसके ऊपर जो हम लोग जो है थोड़ा गांव में जो ब्लॉक गवर्नमेंट के द्वारा बीज का भी प्रबंध हम लोग करते हैं, और वह हम छोटे छोटे किसान को जितना जितना पैकेट होते हैं 4 किलो 5 किलो को प्रधानमंत्री योजना से देता है, जो वे गांव में माने ब्लॉक में 2 3 5 किसान के दिया जाता है, गरीब व्यक्ति के, उनके भी लाभ हम दिलाते हैं। और ये सब के लिए हम खेती पर विशेष से जोर देकर, जिस तरह से हम जीपीएस को ट्रेनिंग लेकर जो कौन मौसम में कैसा खेती करना चाहिए, ये हम लोग किसान को जाकर बताते हैं। जो आपदा प्रबंधन के मौसम की परिवर्तन के लिए हमारे किसान जो जूझ रहा है, जिस तरह से हमारा फसल नुकसान हो रहा है, उससे हम कैसे बचे, अपना किसान को कैसे बचाए, किस तरह का खेती करे, कौन ऐसा धान है जो हम लोग समय पर करें, जो सब रंग का धान करे, जो एक रंग का धान न करे, जो हमारा खेती जिस तरह से किसी हथिया नक्षत्र के जो इस मास में है, जो विशेष पानी आ जाने से फसल पका हुआ फसल नुकसान हो जाता है, ये आपदा प्रबंधन के लिए होता है। इसके लिए हम लोग बचाव का भी थोड़ा काम करते हैं।
जी अजय जी, is this a last point?
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
Okay. She said that we are heavily affected with the disaster, and our agriculture is heavily affected with the disaster. So our prime focus is how to to develop the diversified crop production in our area. See, as this area is famous for the paddy production, so she actually orients farmers, small farmers, how to produce the diversified paddy. For this, she takes support of the government schemes from the, she named the government scheme of the Prime Minister seed scheme. She helps small farmers to take the help of the block administration for getting the seeds from the block for the different crops like the paddy, wheats, and other, particularly for the paddy, so that farmers get the seeds at the time, and these seeds help them to diversify their crops, particularly of the paddy crops. She also said that that the diversification of crops is actually disappearing. So her prime focus is how to diversify the crops so that they can have the sustainable crop in this area. Yes. हाँ चंद्ररेखा जी कहिए. Yes.
हाँ बस लास्ट में आपको जो आगे के लिए क्या कहना है?
ये चंद्ररेखा जी कहिए.
मौसम परिवर्तन से हमारे गांव में ठनका की विशेष होता है, वे ठनका से बचाव के लिए हम भी किसान को बताते हैं, जिस तरह से उस मास में लू के लिए ये सब पर भी हम लोग जानकारी देते हैं, और कैसे किसान बचे, किस तरह से, जिस तरह से खेत में रहे वो किस तरह से बचे, इसका भी प्रशिक्षण हम लोग देते हैं। जो आपदा से हम कैसे जूझ कर निकले, ये छोटे छोटे किसान को उतना जानकारी नहीं रहता है, इसके लिए हम लोग गांव में अपना किसान पाठशाला में विशेष रूप से जानकारी देते हैं। और ये हमारे जो सबसे पहले लक्ष्य है, जो हमारे किसान कैसे बचे, किस तरह से खेती करे, विशेष बारिश में विशेष तड़का तड़के उसमें बाद न जाए, लेकिन किसान मानते नहीं है, उसका काम करना रहता है, वो चले जाते हैं। तो इसके लिए भी हम लोग बताते हैं जो ठनका से कैसे बचे, लू के कैसे बचे, और अन्य तरह के जितना भी हमारे गांव में, गांव छोटा एरिया है और वहाँ हम लोग जूझने का भी काम करते हैं। और इसके अलावा हम लोग वर्षा जल का संग्रह, जिस तरह से हमारे बारिश का जल सेट से निकल जाता है, बह जाता है, उसके लिए हम कैसे करें, इस पर भी मुझे सहायता चाहिए, और उसको हम कैसे सींचे, किस तरह से करें। मिट्टी का जांच भी होना चाहिए, जिस तरह से हम किसान के कृषि विज्ञान से हम पता करें, जो हमारे खेत में जो है, जो मिट्टी के जांच करें, जो कैसा फसल हो, जो नुकसान न हो। और पशुपालन पर भी हम लोग जोर देते हैं, जो पशु के आपदा से कैसे बचाया जाए। लू में पशु भी बीमार होते हैं, बरसात में जिस तरह से बाढ़ के एरिया में पशु का, जाल माल का बहुत सारा दिक्कत हो जाता है, जो उनका चारा नहीं मिलता है, उनके रख रखाव का बहुत सारा दिक्कत होता है। और वर्मी कंपोस्ट भी बनाने के हम लोग, जो पशु पोसेंगे तो वर्मी कंपोस्ट भी हम लोग ज्यादा से ज्यादा बना कर रखेंगे। और कचरा संरक्षण का भी काम करते हैं, जो कचरा जो हम लोग का घर में है, जहाँ तहाँ कूड़ा कचरा फेंका रहता है, उसके इकट्ठा करके हम वर्मी कंपोस्ट भी बनाए, इस पर भी हम चर्चा करते हैं। और
बहुत अच्छे
फोकस
जी, थोड़ा एक शॉर्ट समरी दे दीजिए।
Short, yes, in short, very short. She actually her essence of telling was that apart from livelihood, life of farmers, small farmers is very important, because due to the extreme weather events, small farmers are generally exposed with this extreme weather events, particularly for the thundering and lightning, heat waves and cold waves, because farmers have to go to the field, so they take their life on the risk. So as a leader, as a woman leader, she also trained these farmers that how to save their lives from the thundering, lightning, cold heat wave, cold wave. She actually makes the demand from the government that there should be early warning system related to lightning and thundering in their local area. There should be early warning system related to the flood and drought also, so that small farmers can take precautions before the extreme weather events happen. And she also told that there must be a good government schemes on holding the rainwater, so that rainwater can be used as a drinking water, and at the time this can be used for the irrigation. And she also demanded that there must be a regular system for soil testing, so that small farmers have the sufficient knowledge that how the soils of their field can be suitable for the diversified crop. So in essence, she told all these things. Thank you.
Thank you, Chandrarekha Devi ji. आपने बहुत अच्छा बोला, अजय जी. I
और
think
सर,
both of you have summarized the issues very well. हाँ हाँ, अभी आगे भी हम चर्चा करेंगे चंद्ररेखा देवी जी, अभी आगे भी मौका मिलेगा तो हम अभी आपसे और भी सवाल पूछेंगे. I'd like to now invite Godavari Dange. She is one of the outstanding leaders from Maharashtra. She has been leading community resilience, and she is also Asia Regional Committee member of the Huairou Commission. गोदावरी, आप अपनी बात रखिए. नसीम, आपको गोदावरी की बात ट्रांसलेट करनी है.
सगळ्यांना नमस्ते.
नमस्ते, बोलिए. यस,
माझं नाव गोदावरी आहे आणि मी महाराष्ट्राची आहे, फेडरेशनची लीडर आहे आणि वायरो कमिशनची मेंबर आहे. आमच्याकडं महाराष्ट्रामध्ये दुष्काळ हा नेहमीच असतो आणि जास्त तर आपत्ती ह्या म्हणजे ओला दुष्काळ पण आहे आणि अतिवृष्टी पण आहे आणि त्यासोबत क्लायमेट चेंज जे आहे तर ते क्लायमेट चेंजचा जे परिणाम आहे तर ते जास्त शेतीवर होतो आणि शेतीवर झाल्यामुळं व्यवसाय पण त्याच्यात बरेच बंद होतात आणि कुठली आपत्ती आली तर जास्त महिलांना त्रास होतो. तर हे आमच्याकडल्या आपत्ती आहेत आणि त्यामध्ये ज्या अडचणी आहेत त्या अडचणी एकतर दुष्काळात असो किंवा जास्त अतिवृष्टी झाल्यावर पण पाऊस झाला तर त्यामध्ये व्यवसाय बंद होतात आणि दुसरं की पाणी मिळत नाही. जास्त झालं तर जास्त पण होतं आणि दुष्काळ असेल तर जनावरांना पाणी मिळत नाही, खायला चारा मिळत नाही आणि जे काही आपले व्यवसाय आहेत तर हे व्यवसाय सगळे बंद होतात.
Thank you. Naseem, will you translate this and then after that Godavari can make one more point.
Godavari talked about her experience in the region. She's saying that our region is more vulnerable for droughts and various disasters as well as the climate change. So this climate change always affects on the agriculture income, and when the drought, less water or high water, both sides affect on the enterprises, animals, powder, and the loss of life. So many things happen. So it is very hard for us.
गोदावरी, हाँ बोलिए. हाँ, अपनी लास्ट की बात में रखिए.
यामध्ये आम्ही जे CRF आहे तर CRF कम्युनिटी रिझिलियन्स फंड जो आहे तर ते आम्ही वायरो कमिशन जवळपास जसं 20 देशामध्ये देतं तसं आम्हाला इंडियामध्ये पण महाराष्ट्र, बिहार आणि ओरिसा ह्या ठिकाणी आहे. तर आम्हाला आमचं जे CRF आहे तर ते आम्ही महिला फेडरेशन मधून मॅनेज करतो आणि जे आपत्ती आहेत तर त्या आपत्तीच्या काळामध्ये त्याचा जास्त आम्ही वापर करतो की आपत्तीच्या सोबत हे करतो आणि त्याच्यामध्ये ज्या गाव पातळीवरच्या अडचणी आहेत त्या अडचणी समजून घेतो की कुणाला द्यायला पाहिजे, कोणत्या कारणासाठी हा CRF वापर करायला पाहिजे आणि त्याच्यातून ज्या कारणासाठी महिला घेतात तर ते वापर करतात का. आणि सगळ्यात महत्वाचं की अनुत्पादक गोष्टीसाठी जसं की घर बांधकाम असेल किंवा यात्रा जत्रा असेल तर ह्या कारणासाठी आम्ही देत नाहीत की उत्पादक कारणासाठीच आमचा CRF आम्ही महिलांना देतो.
Okay, Naseem.
So she's talking about the community resilience fund, which is modeled or started from the Maharashtra and Federation women, but it is now scaled up through Huairou Commission because this is started with the help of Huairou Commission and now it's spread into more than 22 countries across the world. And this fund is mainly owned and managed by the women groups in the community, women groups and federations in the community, and this fund is stand for the various local solutions where the women can identify their risk in their community and they can find the solution. So the fund they utilize for to increase the livelihood opportunity in the community, diversified various crops in their community, and the water management, fodder management, as well as some small infrastructure where they can reduce the risk of small children, school children, and the girls. So that way the fund is owned and managed by the women, and it is helping for the local community to identify the solution.
Okay, excellent. So
आणि
I
फंड
can Godavari, last point आप सब बस last point आप अपना दीजिए.
तुम फंड का स्केल बोल के लिखो.
हा, आम्ही फंड डिझाईन केलेला आहे की कोणत्या कारणासाठी कसा वापरायला पाहिजे आणि ते पण आपत्तीच्या काळात त्या फंडवर कसं की कमी पाण्यातले शेती असेल, व्यवसाय असतील तर हे कसं करायला पाहिजे याच्यासाठी देतो. आणि जास्तीत जास्त कोविड मध्ये ज्यावेळेस लॉकडाऊन कोविडच्या वेळेस लॉकडाऊन झालं तर त्यावेळेला बँक फायनान्स सगळे बंद झाले आणि आम्ही त्यावेळेला महिलांना ऑनलाईन मीटिंग केल्या आणि महिलांना काय व्यवसाय करायला पाहिजे, गाव पातळीवर कुठले व्यवसाय चालणार आहेत ह्याच्या संदर्भात ऑनलाईन फंड दिला आणि महिलांनी जवळपास आतापर्यंत 4,50,00,000 महिलांना दिलेले आहेत. पण कोविडच्या ह्या काळामध्ये आपत्तीच्या ह्याच्यात आम्ही 1,03,00,000 महिलांना फंड वाटप केलेलं आहे. आणि ह्याच बरोबरीने जे रिकमेंडेशन आहे तर ते जसं इंटरनॅशनल ऑर्गनायझेशन आहेत, बँक आहे, शासन आहे, तरी ह्यांनी जे फंड डिझाईन करतात तर ह्या फंड डिझाईन करण्यामध्ये महिलांचं डिसिजन असायला पाहिजे आणि हा फंड महिला संघटनला द्यायला पाहिजे. आणि दुसरं की जे शासनाच्या योजना आहेत तर त्या महिला चालवण्यासारख्या असायला पाहिजे. आणि एक की क्लायमेट चेंजची जी पॉलिसी आहे तर हे डिझाईन करताना महिला असायला पाहिजे त्याच्यामध्ये. जसं की 2017 मध्ये एडीबी बँकेनं आम्हाला बँकॉक मध्ये हे फंडचं डिझाईन ज्यावेळेस करायचं होतं तर त्यावेळेला सहभागी करून घेतलं होतं पार्टनरशिप मध्ये. तर तसा फंड डिझाईन करताना महिलांना सहभागी करून घ्यायला पाहिजे.
Okay. Thank you.
Excellent,
Naseem,
Godavari.
very
Yes,
briefly, please,
yes.
because this translation is coming in English also in the transcript.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So Godavari mainly said about the fund, the scale of fund they are managing. They are managing 4 CR, and she mentioned during the COVID when the all life is stopped, that time also they given one CR money to the community to find alternate solutions like say stitching, masks, producing hygiene kits, all that which are very essential during the COVID.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is the scale they are managing, and she especially having the 2 recommendations for all the community here on the platform. They should she wants to women should the fund always the money should be reached to the community, and women should be involved in the management of that funds. And she given an example of ADB Bank, Asian Development Bank, who involve women to design the fund and implement and do the pilot in the Philippines. So, and she is the resource person for that when the ADB is designing this community resilience fund.
Right.
So
Excellent.
that can be taken as a learning.
Yeah. and
Thank you.
pointer for the future. I think collaboration between all the stakeholders is the critical aspect which is coming out. Collaboration between the community with
She's
government
saying,
and with the financial institutions
Yeah,
and the markets. So I'll
she's
just
saying-
now move on to Mr. Gavsane Dattare. He is the agriculture officer in the government of Maharashtra in Latur district. And he will be speaking about how his experience has been shaped with working with the community. हाँ, दत्तारे साहब आइए, आप switch on कीजिए. हाँ, दिलीप.
दिलीप.
We are waiting for दत्तारे साहब. हाँ, जी
Yes,
सर प्लीज. जी
आवाज आ रहा है क्या?
जी जी आ रहा है, और हमने आपका इंट्रोडक्शन भी कर दिया है, तो प्लीज आप अपनी बात रखिए. थैंक यू सो मच.
हेलो.
हाँ बोलिए सर.
हेलो.
हाँ.
आवाज येत नाहीये, त्यांचं ओपन आहे. जशीन ताई,
मेरा आवाज आ रहा है क्या?
जी आ रहा है, आप बोलिए. हाँ प्लीज स्पीक.
नमस्ते. नमस्ते.
जी.
I am Mr. Dattatreya Gausane, District Agriculture Officer, Latur.
Yes, please continue.
First of all, women in agriculture, actually for so long we are working with women in agriculture department, and our experience is that as compared to men participants, women participants are very vigorous and very sincerely implementing all agriculture schemes. We have 3 to 4 schemes in which schemes were participating women. That is, one is the POCRA. POCRA matlab Project on Climate Resilient Agriculture. The scheme is designed for resilient agriculture as such. And second scheme is Prime Minister Formalization of Micro Enterprises Scheme. Third scheme is Atma. And other schemes are also we are implementing in our district. And in all schemes, जो SSP है हमारे यहाँ महाराष्ट्र में, SSP के कोलैबोरेशन से हम सभी महिलाओं को पार्टिसिपेशन स्कीम में कराते हैं. और दूसरा जो हमारा एक्सपीरियंस है कि ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग में ये ज्यादा इंटरेस्टेड है. जो भी महिला हमारे स्कीम में पार्टिसिपेट होते हैं, और उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग का मॉडल्स बनाए हैं. उनके परसबाग और 1 एकड़ मॉडल जो परसबाग है, उसको उनके घर के बाजू में जो वेजिटेबल ग्रोइंग का जो एक्सपेरिमेंट है, उसमें भी बहुत से महिला ने काम किया है. और ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग में दशपर्णी आर्क और नाड़े फॉर्मी कंपोस्ट, ये जो सभी एक्सपेरिमेंट्स है उसमें उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे पार्टिसिपेशन लिया है. और हमारा जो एक्सपीरियंस है वो उनके बारे में बहुत अच्छा है. और हम एक कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा फार्मर महिलाओं का गट ग्रुप्स या महिलाओं का FPO बना के ज्यादा से ज्यादा स्कीम में उनका पार्टिसिपेंस कैसा हो जाए, उसके बारे में हम सब प्रयास कर रहे हैं. और हमें अच्छा रिस्पांस महिलाओं की तरफ से मिल रहा है. हमने पिछले 2-3 साल में बहुत से प्रोग्राम SSP के साथ लिए हैं, और बहुत से वुमेन ग्रुप्स एंड वुमेन FPOs are attached with us and implementing so many programs. One of the program is our implement bank, then zero tillage cultivation, ब्रॉड बेस्ड फरो का जो नया टेक्नोलॉजी है वो भी हम कर रहे हैं. पॉन्ड्स में कुछ काम हो रहा है, हॉर्टिकल्चर प्लांटेशन है, ड्रिप स्प्रिंकलर है, रिचार्ज ऑफ वेल्स है और कंपोस्ट नाड़े. ये सभी प्रोग्राम में हमारा जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट में महिलाओं का योगदान बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है और इससे भी ज्यादा हम बढ़ाने की कोशिश करेंगे. धन्यवाद.
थैंक यू सो मच. एंड आई थिंक आपकी बात एक बहुत अच्छा एग्जाम्पल है. इट्स एन एक्सीलेंट एग्जाम्पल ऑफ हाउ द पार्टनरशिप हैपेंस and when there is a relationship of trust between the community and the government system. And I think that you have managed to establish this is an excellent initiative, and congratulations to you and your team. I would like to now take a call and not have a break here for a question and answer session. And I'd like to now invite Bindu Shreshta from Nepal to come and speak about their experiences with women-led cooperatives and partnerships. Bindu is the president of the Community Women's Forum, and Bindu's translation into English will be done by Shreshta from CWF organization. Welcome, Bindu. Please start.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Bindu.
Start गर्नुस्.
Yes.
म यहाँ गर्दैछु.
Yes. Switch on your camera also, please. All the speakers can switch on the cameras when they speak. Yes. Welcome, Bindu.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
म बिन्दु श्रेष्ठ, सामुदायिक महिला मञ्चको अध्यक्ष.
Yes, please continue.
Huairou Commission Governing Council Board सदस्य, एशिया रिजनल को अध्यक्ष. सुशीना?
Yes, please आगे बोलिए. हाँ.
Namaste. This is Bindu Shrestha, President of Women Community Women Forum, and I'm also Governing Council Board member of Huairou Commission and President of Asia Region.
Okay.
सर्वप्रथम म आयोजक टिमलाई धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु मलाई आमन्त्रण गर्नु भएकोमा. I would like to thank the organizer for invitation. I'm very happy to be a part of this event. सामुदायिक महिला मञ्चले गरिरहेको कार्यक्रमको बारेमा बताउन पाउँदा एकदमै खुसी छु. सामुदायिक महिला मञ्चले महिलाहरूको आर्थिक सशक्तिकरणको लागि विभिन्न बचत समूह र सहकारी मार्फत महिलाहरूको नेतृत्व स्थापित गर्दै आइरहेको छ. महिलाहरूको नेतृत्वमा स्थानीय सरकार र विभिन्न सरोकारवाला सङ्घ संस्थाहरूसँग सहकार्य गरेर विपद व्यवस्थापन, जीविकोपार्जन, खानेपानी सरसफाई, उद्यमशीलता तथा क्षमता अभिवृद्धि तालिम, आवास निर्माण, पूर्वाधार विकास, महिला प्रजनन स्वास्थ्य शिविर, सदस्यहरूद्वारा उत्पादित सामानहरूको बिक्री वितरण तथा खाद्य सुरक्षाको लागि कौशी खेती तथा सिकाइ अवलोकन भ्रमणको कार्यक्रम गर्दै आइरहेको जानकारी गराउन चाहन्छु. Community Women Forum is a network of 35 different women-led women cooperative. It has been working to build a capacity of women more in financial way by forming different grassroots women saving group and cooperative. In this way, we are helping to make women as leader for themselves, and all the cooperatives are women-led. From this cooperative, we have been working in collaboration with local government and many other partner organizations, NGO, INGOs, to organize various events like disaster management program in livelihood, water, sanitation, entrepreneurship, and capacity building training. Together with this,
We are also working in housing and community infrastructure development. We also work in health sector, mainly in women health camp for reproductive health education. Also, we organize different melas for connecting local products. For food security, we have also started terrace farming movement. For exchange of good practices, we have also organized different visit training programs between cooperatives.
यसरी सामुदायिक महिला मञ्चले 3वटा प्रणालीमा काम गर्दै आइरहेको छ। एउटा चाहिँ बचत तथा ऋण कार्यक्रम सहकारी आफैले बचत सङ्कलन गरेर सदस्यहरूलाई ऋण लगानी गरेर चाहिँ काम गर्ने काम गर्छ भने अर्को सामुदायिक उठान छिट्ला कोष छ, जसले चाहिँ समुदायमा भूकम्प, विशेष गरेर भूकम्प, कोभिड जस्तो विपदको अवस्थामा व्यवसायबाट जीविकोपार्जनमा असर परेकाहरूलाई पुनः व्यवसाय गर्नको लागि सहयोग गर्नुका साथै कोभिडको समयमा आवश्यक राहत वितरण गरिने, जलवायु परिवर्तनले गर्दा कृषिमा असर परेको व्यवसायलाई व्यावसायिक टनल खेतीमा पनि सहयोग पुर्याउने काम गर्दै आइरहेको छ। विपद जोखिम न्यूनीकरणको लागि महिलाहरूलाई प्राथमिक स्वास्थ्य उपचार, खोज तथा सरल खोज उद्धार तालिमका साथै स्थानीय सरकारलाई पनि विपदको लागि आवश्यक सामग्री पनि हस्तान्तरण गर्ने काम गर्दै आइरहेको छ।
Right now, mainly CWF is focusing in 3 portions. One, the bigger portion is making saving and loan program, which is mainly functioned by the cooperative, so that if anyone need a financial aid, they can get from their own saving. And another part is community relief fund, which is mainly focused on rehabilitating the member whose housing and livelihood has been affected mainly by the earthquake which happened 6 years ago in Nepal, and also the COVID which is prevailing right now. Understanding the scenarios, many effective members get no interest loan or according to their need. Some get grant, some get very loan in very low interest. Also, due to climate change, many agriculture-based members has been affected. So we support them to build greenhouse and tunnels. Also to minimize disaster risk, our grassroots women have also got training on first aid, search and rescue trainings. Also, we are supporting local government with the disaster relief material donation.
Okay, thank you, Shreshta. Are there any more points, or is that the last statement?
Okay. I think there is one point remaining.
Yes, please continue and just wind up. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
अर्को चाहिँ हाम्रो सम्पदा कोष भनेर सदस्यहरूको चाहिँ निम्न आय भएकाहरूलाई चाहिँ आवास निर्माण गर्नको लागि चाहिँ हामी सहयोग गर्ने गर्छौं। यसरी सामुदायिक महिला मञ्चले विगत 12 वर्षदेखि महिलाहरूको लागि चाहिँ समूह र सहकारी मार्फत अगाडि बढाइरहेका छौं। अहिले हालसम्म हाम्रो सामुदायिक महिला मञ्चमा 35 वटा समूह र सहकारी आबद्ध छन् भने 35,000 सदस्य चाहिँ रहेको छ र सम्पूर्ण यो सहकारीका सदस्यहरूको एकमुष्ट पुँजीको कुरा गर्दा 1 अर्ब 38 करोड रहेको जानकारी गराउन चाहन्छु।
सकाउँछु है।
Please translate and
yeah, so another important fund is Heritage Development Fund. Mostly after the earthquake in the Heritage settlement, many grassroots members were not getting access to the government fund because of their land title and so many issues. So because of that, we are also supporting the vulnerable families. So in this way, now we are a network of 35,000 members in Nepal. So we have total fund of 1 arab 38 crore. So we think that this is the right time to evaluate and value the work done by grassroots women level in our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Binduji. Thank you, Bindu. And thank you, Shreshta. Okay, yes, please. Yes.
अहिले हामीले Huairou Commission को एसिया रिजनलमा चाहिँ हाम्रो 6 वटा देशमा चाहिँ 26 वटा सक्रिय सदस्य रहेको छ, जुन हाम्रो इन्डियाको एसएसपी, बीपीएफ, त्यसै गरेर इन्डोनेसियाको याकुम, फिलिपिन्सको डम्पा आदि संस्थाहरूले पनि यस्तै गरेर महिलाहरूको चाहिँ विकास कार्यमा चाहिँ अगाडि बढिरहेको कुरा म जानकारी चाहन्छु। हस्, थ्यांक यू।
Thank you
So
so much.
at last, I would like to inform you all that right now in Huairou Commission Asia region, we have 23 different grassroots women-led organization from 6 countries: Nepal, Bangladesh, India, Philippines, Indonesia, and Vietnam. So like SSP from India. So we all organization are working together for the development of grassroots women in Asia region. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Binduji. Thank you, Shreshta, for this excellent presentation. Really very inspiring. And I'm sure we will have many more discussions and more partnerships coming up after this presentation. The session is now open for any questions and comments. I have been able to see only one question so far, which is from Qazi Javed Pasha, which is to SSP. The question is that how is SSP organizing advocacy and achieving policy changes? So if Naseem, you can answer, and then after that, Manu can also come in to share some of the work with the other private sector players that you have been able to influence. Naseem?
Yes. So at our at SSP, we first developed the model or the solution. Then when the women experience that solution, they start going and visiting and talking to the officials to scale up that model. And during when they come up with the solution, they identify what kind of requirements they have to implement that solution. So we are taking that needs to the government and to talk and negotiate with the local government, and slowly the things are incorporated into the policy level. So I can give a small example of. In last drought, we started doing the alternate fodder called hydroponic and azola, and that time we started first time through the women's group demonstrated, and then we invite the officials to see the result, and same time women make some success stories, and then that success story is published into the local media to circulate that success to other part of the region, and it should be reached to the all local government as well as the policy makers. And we always try to conduct dialogue workshops between women farmers and the officials. These successes and the results, when it will scaling up and it is rooted into the community, slowly government bring into the program and the policy and implement. So the 2-3 examples in our case. One is the scheme is fully designed for the animal fodder and now fully subsidized from the government side. And when we started 1 acre climate resilient model as a solution for climate change and agriculture and food security, now government is made a full-fledged national level program and they are implementing. So the learning, yes.
Yeah,
the learnings are demonstrated and having the dialogue, and it will help to do the advocacy.
Okay, thank you. There are other questions also. There is one question for the Odisha group, which is regarding how is the Odisha group getting access to government programs. So मुक्ता से क्वेश्चन है कि आप लोगों को सरकारी सहायता किस प्रकार से मिल रही है, तो बिस्वा and Mukta, आप लोग please इसे answer कीजिए.
Actually, these women, that Saptadhara women FPO has been promoted under a government program called Mahila Kisan Sashastikaran program of the government of India under the Rural Livelihood Mission. And that and they are also presently, many villages are being supported under, they have access to various Narwad projects like water shed and water and land management activities. Even Narwad is recognizing there are 4 Narwad is this year has supported a black rice seed production unit, focusing on the 51 seed mothers who will produce the black rice in that belt and it will distribute it to among other villages.
Okay.
Similarly, agriculture and horticulture departments also, but their like supports are not at the scale of their organization need, but still they are supporting one way or other.
Yeah. Okay. I think this is a question for the future also. There is a comment about documenting these experiences. There is also another question about reducing the gap between policies and communities. So I think if I can invite Upmanyu here to speak about how these different kinds of partnerships, not just with government, but with the market players and the corporates are also being built. Upmanyu?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please.
Yeah. So hi, I am Upmanyu Patil. I am Director Program in Swayam Shikshan Prayog. The topic which I am talking is more about partnerships. So SSP has built these corporate partnerships for communities, especially for the businesses to expand their businesses in the rural communities. So mainly in the value chain like dairy, vegetable, pulses, in all these areas, we are trying to create a local hypermarket. So it will be procured from the farmers through farmer producer companies and sell it into the nearby markets. For getting the technology or equipments or the other technology support, we are working with corporate partners like Systema Bio or Ruka technology, and then Promoting Power Systems, and as well as the local Krishi Vigyan Kendras and agriculture department, because all they have these technologies built, which actually we are trying to get into the grassroots level. We are working with women farmers and the entrepreneurs and promoting this 1 acre model, as already Naseem has explained, like what we are trying to do as a food security and all. But parallelly, we want to ensure the economic empowerment by building markets, both in the retail and bulk space. So and in future also, as the question comes on the advocacy, SSP has been working since Latur earthquake very closely with the government as a community participation consultant, and many times it has an advisor to Government of India or Government of Maharashtra when it comes to especially the women empowerment and economic empowerment on livelihoods and value chains. So we focusing more on collective enterprises and value chains by engaging the partners, including government and corporates. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think if there are any other questions, then I would request the people to please put them in the question and answer or in the chat. We both are live. I'd like to now invite Professor Vinod Menon. He's the founder member of the National Disaster Management Authority of Government of India, and he's also a board member of Swayam Shikshan Prayog. And he's going to summarize some of the learnings on policy and partnerships. Thank you so much, Professor Vinod Menon. You have about, I think now about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think, we had some excellent interventions from Mukta Naik, from Chandrarekha Devi, from Godavari Dange, and also from Bindu Shreshta. And we have seen that how localization agenda is really happening at the grassroots level in these villages, in Orissa, in Maharashtra, in Bihar, and also in Nepal. And when we heard about the Seed Mother working with 75 farmer producer organizations in Orissa, and also Bindu talking about more than 35 women cooperatives, and talking about savings and loans and community resilience fund, I think the localization is actually becoming extremely relevant, and women have been metaphorically mentioned as holding up half the sky, because out of the 8 billion people on the planet, women are more than 50%. And so, which means basically that these work of these women, and you've seen that in Orissa, 66% of the local self-government institutions are actually, elected women. So which means that it is the involvement is there in local governance, in risk governance. And so we are also seeing this work in financing resilience, the Community Resilience Fund. In fact, during COVID, we have seen that, the Swayam Shisham Prayog's Community Resilience Fund gave about $125,000 US, to various women's groups. That's about 1 crore Indian rupees, to various women's groups. I think these are important. And I would like to also highlight this low input sustainable agriculture, the 1 acre model, which, Swayam Shisham Prayog has been promoting, and also looking at the various government schemes, the way in which, embedding government schemes and working with the local self-government institutions and local district government officials, I think is very important. And we would like to also compliment ICCCAD for doing this event, along with Latin America and Africa, to also look at South Asia, and specifically the work of Huairou Commission and the Asia Committee complement Bindu, Shreshta, and Godavari, Dange, and others, 23 grassroots organizations from 6 countries in South Asia doing excellent work. Thank you very much. And climate change and climate resilience is very important, and women have an important role, and we hope that there'll be greater involvement of women in all the social initiatives. So think locally, act globally, but think globally and act locally. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for this inspiring message. And I think it's really amazing that, when you work with grassroots groups and with women leaders, when you hear the news, the world is so gloomy. And when you hear the women, then, there is so much hope and so much positivity. I'd like to now bring in Suranjana Gupta. And in the meantime, Chandran and Sanjana have also been putting together a summary of the learnings, which we'll share with you very soon, the essence of the discussions. Suranjana, please come in now.
Thank you. Thank you, Ratna, and thanks to all the presenters who presented such inspiring examples of their work. And as the Community Resilience Advisor of Huairou Commission, I know that this is only a small sliver of all the work that they do. So I think in my remarks, I want to just reflect on the experiences that we've heard, and I would use 2 kind of framing concepts, which I think very much resonate with the examples and the strategies for grassroots women's resilience building strategies. So one is the idea that we was presented here is one of diversity. I think we saw that the South Asian women here were from very diverse geographies. They have diverse strategies. They represent urban, rural, and indigenous communities, which are facing a host of different challenges because they live in low-income, marginalized communities, and they are often women who are doing this work, who are taking leadership, mobilizing their communities, coming up with solutions. They still remain sort of figuratively in the shadows, and their work remains invisible because much of it is in the space of the informal. So So I also want to look at the idea along with diversity of inclusion, and what are we as movements, social movements that are focused on grassroots-led development processes, what is it that we bring to this whole discussion on supporting grassroots women leaders from different geographies, different countries, to amplify the impacts of their work. So first of all, I think you heard very clearly that what women are doing out there in their local areas, they're not just about feeding and keeping their households going by undertaking strategies that are addressing both their, their household needs and family needs, but they're also looking at how to support the larger communities. And the work that they're doing is incredibly important. We're hearing now so much about how soil health is such a critical aspect of resilience building, of biodiversity, of keeping the food basket diverse, and of nutrition. And we know also at the same time that South Asia is actually there's a big problem of hunger and malnutrition, and a very large percentage of the malnourished and undernourished people of the world are actually located in this region. At the same time, we also know that we have in the subcontinent a huge history and tradition of self-help groups, organized women's groups of all kinds. And these groups, and we know that they have the ability to act as solidarity networks. When they are connected, when they're federated, when they're networked, they provide social resilience, they provide financial resources, which is easy to access. They understand how to take collective action to solve problems that they are facing. And as social movements, we are here to aggregate this work, to build on it, to amplify this work, and to make sure that the ways in which we translate the needs and priorities of local women at the global level are very much grounded in the work that you're hearing now. So for example, Bindu, Shreshta from Nepal, Godavari, Dange from India, they sit on the Global Governing Council of the Huairou Commission. They bring their sensibilities, their priorities, and their leadership to making the larger decisions on how we should shape and design the Community Resilience Fund. It was the Governing Council of the Huairou Commission, made up of members and grassroots leaders, who actually called for repurposing resources in 2019 and 2020 to those who were actually deeply and acutely affected by the COVID crisis. And it was because of these women's demands that 27 grants to different organizations, in addition to the mature organizations who are getting the Community Resilience Fund, were given. So I want to finally make a couple of remarks about the finances. What does it mean to finance and scale up the kind of financing available to these localized groups who are already testing solutions, acting to innovate, mobilizing their own resources, building strong partnerships, and scaling up? First, I think we need to recognize that women are not doing these as projects. These are ongoing efforts that they are very much committed to. You heard Mukta Nayakji talk about the diversification of livelihoods and the different varieties of rice in her area. The need to preserve those. These are all commitments that local groups are making. I think we need to find economic systems and financial mechanisms that value the work that women's groups are doing, and look not only at the monetized costs, but the costs which are not monetized. We need to look at what they're calling now true costs of development, of food, of agriculture, and of well-being. We have to look at the long-term well-being costs and look at women's efforts to enhance sustainable, resilient food and farming systems in that context. And lastly, of course, I want to say that it is the diverse strategies that you're seeing from local women in their local contexts, which actually are dealing with a whole basket of risks and vulnerabilities, whether these arise from climate change or from other kinds of economic shocks or political shocks and conflict. It is this, their strategies are actually dealing with, they are multidimensional strategies dealing with a basket of risks. And so we have to make financial resources available to them, which are aligned to this multidimensional way of working. They have to be flexible enough, and we have to create partnerships with them that allow women's organizations who are working locally to help to design and co-create solutions. So I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Vinod, Menon and Suranjana. Both of you have really summarized the key learnings from the discussion and the kind of actions which are required. There are still some questions coming in regarding equity and justice concerns of local organizations and some other questions. So which we will, take up as a group and try to incorporate in the kind of recommendations. Based on the notes which Chandran and Lakshmikanji and Sanjana have been making during these discussions, we have drafted these 4 points, but these are still in a draft form. And we will be, reviewing all the transcripts again and seeing the kind of discussions that need to be focused around these key action areas for moving forward. And as the perspective of this group from South Asia. With this, I'd like to extend my thanks to Celine, Maliha, and all the people from the ICCCAD team, as well as to the SSP team, who have both been working very hard to put this program together. And I would just like to now request all of you to switch on your cameras so that we can take a group shot and, have at least a feeling of, bonding and collectivity, which is so important for our strategies for going forward. So, Lakshmikanji, requesting you to please take a screenshot of everybody, all the groups, and if Sanjana, if you can remove this, yes. Yeah, please put all the panelists. Oh, only the panelists are here. I don't know whether all the participants can be also there, but at least let's do this screenshot at least.
Yeah, you can take a gallery view, then you can get everybody on the screen together.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Lashmika.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So, Celine, any last words from you, and then we'll close. I think we've kept the time.
No, I don't have any last words. It will be nice for you all to finish it. Thank you very much for a very inspiring and passionate session from all of you. And I know how much trouble you all took to make this happen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks to Habib and Maliha from your team.
No, it's also part from ICCCAD. ICCCAD helped us a lot, and last minute or so they provided the solution. So what's the solution?
Thank you. Thank you, Chandran.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
have one thing to say.
Thank you. I think we are closing this now. Thank you so much, all the panelists, all the participants.